So a movie's title can tell you a lot about a film. Sometimes it's really important. I mean, look at Joker. It's about, well, Joker. You have The Farewell. It's about, saying goodbye to a loved one. It tells you a lot about the film. And then you have Downhill, a movie that, oh, it goes downhill, all right. Oh, man. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today we're talking all about Downhill, the latest film starring Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Now, it's not very good, but before I hop into why I didn't like the movie, if this is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James. Now, if you're wondering who that is, that's me, and I love talking about movies each and every day. You're not going to want to miss out. Go ahead, and if you haven't already, hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and tap on the notification bell just to stay up to date with anything new that I do on the channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video, share with all your friends, and in the comments below, let me know, is Will Ferrell's career pretty much on its way out? That's something we should talk about. And before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already seen my insane reaction to the 2020 Oscars, you're gonna wanna see that video. The link is in the description below. Tonight I'm seeing The Photograph, so a review is coming this week on that. The Call of the Wild is tomorrow, but I can't unfortunately release my review until next week. So stay tuned to any news updates and reactions to trailers that might drop this week. Alrighty guys, so let's hop right into Downhill. Boy, they couldn't have titled this movie anything else. Okay, so if you don't know much about the movie, don't worry, the studio has not done much to market the film, so I'll go ahead and break it down a little bit for you guys. Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus play husband and wife in this movie, and they take their family of 2 boys and they go on a skiing vacation. The thing is, both of them are having marital issues, and that follows them into this vacation. Things hit the fan, or they hit the mountain, because it's an avalanche. Okay. And we're left asking, can this married couple get over their issues, or will it ruin their family forever? So as you can kind of gather, it's a drama with some comedy sprinkled in between. We'll break down why that's actually not a good thing for the movie, but let's start with what didn't work with Downhill. There's not a lot of chemistry between Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and that is the biggest issue in the film, I think. Will Ferrell plays Peter and Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays Billy. Both of them are supposed to be this loving couple that eventually runs into a wall of issues. The problem is, both of them don't play well off of one another. If anything, they both seem stuck in different movies. That's how bad their chemistry is in Downhill. I mean, the movie just catapults you into the drama, and you kind of are left wondering, why should I feel bad? I mean, I'm an empathetic person by nature, but I didn't feel anything for this family, and that might be because the movie doesn't write itself well into the drama. Like, the script is poorly paced. I think the film itself is short, but it feels very long in moments because you never really care for the family, and why should you? The movie doesn't do much to make me care about this family. And like I mentioned a little bit earlier, the movie tries to toe the line between comedy and drama. The problem is it doesn't do well at either. It's a film that isn't funny. I mean, the jokes sometimes get me to react. I mean, I'm shocked by some of the humor, but it's not very good at being clever, and that's what the movie tries to be. And then you have the dramatic aspect, which, trust me, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she brings the heat in this one. She carries the film. I mean, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But Will Ferrell, he cannot act in a dramatic role to save his life, I think, and that's a big reason why this movie failed from the get-go. And some scenes were just flat out annoying, and it had to do with the recurring characters and supporting cast not being very effective. You have Miranda Otto, who's starred in Lord of the Rings, but the entire time she was on screen, I thought to myself, Lord, can we just move on? Her jokes were so over-sexualized, and I didn't even think that they were funny and fit with the drama in the film. She's comic relief. But the thing is, comic relief is supposed to relieve you from the stress and the tension of a film, right? She did none of that. If anything, she made me want to just get up and leave because her scenes didn't make me laugh, 1, and 2, it was so predictable. It just didn't fit in the movie, and I mean, the directors really should have known better. Speaking of directing, Nat Faxon and Rash, you guys can't tell me this is the best ending you've come up with. The movie abruptly ends, and it seems like they are trying to tell a story, and it comes around full circle, but that's the thing. It just seems that way. It never connected and resonated with me. You have to imagine that the movie's ending maybe looked different on paper, maybe it read better, but it didn't translate well to the screen, and I think that it not only ruins the film, but it actually is an end cap to what was an awful ride. But Downhill isn't the worst movie I've seen this year, and I know we're very young into 2020, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus really saves this film. If you're gonna see this movie on a matinee, on a cheap Tuesday, you're not gonna be incredibly up in arms, but you will not have a good time with this film. Because of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she brings clever humor because her comedic timing is perfect in this film, and then you have an insane amount of drama that she's able to express in every one of her solo scenes. But even when she's paired up with Will Ferrell, who of course, again, cannot act in a dramatic role to save his life, Julia Louis-Dreyfus brings the heat. And what I'm saying is perfectly portrayed in a scene in their living room where, of course, Billy and Peter are having their big fallout. This is the most dramatic scene of the film, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus does as much as she can to really bring it home. And she kind of does, because it is the most memorable scene in the film. Everything else was memorable for the wrong reasons, but you don't need me to tell you that. Another positive I can think about really is the movie looking beautiful. I mean, these landscape shots look amazing, especially on the big screen. The snowy capped mountains, the skiing moments, they all feel so right, you know? Seeing it on a big screen, it's like, man, if I saw this on my TV, I probably wouldn't be so impressed, but seeing it on the big screen is just really breathtaking. But overall, you guys, Downhill really is just as its name suggests. It goes downhill really fast. You start with an intriguing premise that only just avalanches downward. Boy, it's just not good. And unfortunately, our girl Julia Louis-Dreyfus cannot save this sinking ship by any means. Will Ferrell is probably in one of his worst performances to date, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, guys. His career has been going downward for a while. He hasn't been in a good role in forever. I don't count Lego Movie 2 because I still don't think that's a good film. I'm just so surprised that Will Ferrell, who had an amazing career early on, is just pretty much an afterthought in Hollywood now. I don't see any film and of course see it starring Will Ferrell and get excited anymore. And this film is really no exception. I don't really trust in the family, I don't trust in the directors, I don't know where this story goes half the time, and when it gets there, I feel like I've just been slapped in the face. Downhill is just really one of the worst movies of this year. Maybe Downhill is a movie that really should have just stayed buried under the snow. That was a good pun though. So there you have it, you guys. That's my take on Downhill, a movie that I can't tell you I recommend that you rush out and see in the theaters, or watch at all. But if you enjoyed everything you just heard and saw, don't forget to hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tap on the notification bell right next to it to stay up to date with anything new that I drop, whether it be reviews, reaction videos, news videos, discussion videos. Go ahead and like this video, share with all of your friends, and in the comments below, let me know what you think of this movie if you see it Valentine's Day weekend. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was I a little too harsh? Or did you want to kind of just get up and leave, kind of like I did towards the end? The best thing about this movie were the chicken tenders that I ate. Oh, we're still rolling. Alrighty guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening. Imagine skiing with a cast of Anchorman. Man, that might make for a better movie.